Ladies and gentlemen, from the Microsoft Theater here in downtown Los Angeles, brought to you by Shawn Porter Promotions.
Yeah. What's up, everybody? Welcome to the PorterWay Podcast. Welcome into the new year. We can let this week go by without doing something. So set up a Zoom. The boys on this one, Antt with 2T, Sean Z, but then we have a couple comedians coming on. First, we got world-renowned comedian Na'im Lynn. What's cracking like in Big Dog?
What up, bro? Happy New Year.
Man, Happy New Year to you too. I know that boxing hits everywhere. And it seems like everyone still watches this thing, still loves this thing. And I've had the pleasure of being able to befriend a lot of comedians, a lot of rappers, entertainers, and stuff like that. You being one of the few guys that I know that religiously watches this thing. I wanted to just kind of recap a little bit of last year, and then more than anything, what we look forward to this coming year. Obviously, we know that Zuffa is about to do their thing. We know that His Excellency Turki Alalshikh is front running that whole program. But real quick, as the year winded down last year, of course, we had Jake Paul and Anthony Joshua do their thing. But overall, what did you think about last year's boxing events and how everything played out?
Man, it was a solid year of boxing. You know, the year it was such a blur. I can't really. You got to name some of the good fights last year. Of course, we had Canelo and Crawford, which was a huge event. What were some of the other big fights last year?
I think more than anything, we just had a lot of big names in the ring last year. Of course, we had David Benavidez getting the ring against Anthony Yard. That was a big card in itself. Yeah, that was a big card in itself. We had Frank Martin was on that card. Pitbull and
Lamont Roach.
And Lamont Roach was on that card. Yeah.
And Lamont Roach, when he fought Tank, that was last year too, right? Early in the year.
No, I don't believe so. I could be wrong. Was that early last year?
Yeah, that was last year too.
Yeah.
We had a lot of good fights last year, and Benavidez fought twice too. He fought the Cuban boy.
Right.
Yeah, solid fights last.
That was back in March. Damn.
We actually had some really good boxing last year, man, and don't forget the women too.
Yeah. Well, listen, man, let's go to Tank. Do we see Tank in 2026?
Man, I don't know. I'm so disappointed in Tank, man.
Yeah.
I'm all look. I know that it's a business, and I know that you're prize fighters and you want to make money and you risk your life and all of that stuff. But for me, as a fan, I really care about legacy.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm waiting for Tank to fight somebody that we want to see him fight. Mm-hmm. And then even, Lamont Roach fight, I didn't want to see that. Ended up being a great fight. I feel like Lamont Roach won. And then now, because it was such a close fight, we wanted to see the rematch. And it didn't happen. So whenever it's something that we want with him, it does not happen. And this year, who are you going to fight?
Yeah.
It's like you can't fight anybody else again that we don't want to see. People still going to buy it, but you're just going to hear so many complaints about it.
Just an analogy here, not comparing the two, but let's say this was Tank Davis was the Kevin Hart in this situation.
Mm-hmm.
Tank's been out of the ring as long as he has been. Let's say Kevin's been off of the stage as long as he has been dealing with some stuff. When Kev is coming back, does Kev come back in front of the big crowd, or does Kev come back, quietly where nobody knows that he's doing his thing, get himself back?
So I would say the process as a comedian is your process of sparring. So you start off at the comedy clubs because you have to actually work on your material. So it's not like a tune-up. It's just I'm getting in shape. I'm in the gym. And then you go from that, then you go to the theaters. And if you still can sell tickets to do arenas, then you do arenas too. So it's a hard comparison. As I know you're trying to say that they take a tune-up fighters to get right to it. And we see Terrence Crawford fighting once a year for the last several years. No tune-ups. He's taking the time and preparing for his next opponent. He's letting his body heal. And I think that's what Tank should be able to do, especially still being a fairly young man.
If Tank were to come back 2020, who knows, man, June, summertime, what you looking at Lamont Roach? Like what are you looking at? What are you looking at?
I don't think he's going to fight him again,
Yeah,
especially after the draw with Pitbull.
yeah.
So I think that's like he can use that as an excuse, like, he can't even beat the guy that I beat, blah, blah, blah. You know how it goes. The same thing, boxers kill me because they'll say, on one hand, they'll say, he couldn't beat him and I beat him, and then they'll say, styles make fights. You know what I mean? It's all
Yeah,
BS.
yeah.
So I don't think that he's going to fight Lamont Roach. I think that he should be fighting the winner of Teofimo and Shakur. Plain and simple.
Ooh, plain and simple. At 140.
I think he has no excuse to not fight Shakur at 140 because of the size. I think he don't want to fight. I mean, he shouldn't have an excuse to fight Teo either. You went up to 140 years ago to fight Mario Barrios. So
what do you say about his legacy though? Like, let's say he does come back and it's Shakur or it's Teo, and let's say he possibly loses. Do you give him love for stepping up and getting in the ring with those guys, especially if he continue to move on and fight other guys at 140, big names at 140? Or do you say, hey, you were gone, trouble, trouble, trouble. You came back, you weren't who you used to be. How do you look at the legacy if he should come back against one of those guys? Those guys been active, he hasn't been.
I think that even with a loss, I'll have more respect for his career because you actually tested yourself. I like the guys like you who just wanted the best fights. I mean, even though nobody wants to lose the O, right? It never felt like you were, and I don't know, you only lose the O one time. It's only one time you can do it. So I don't know how you felt about going in when you lost to Kell Brook. If you would think like, I know I'm going to win. You probably think that at every fight, but were you afraid of the possibility of this guy? And prior to you fighting him, most Americans didn't even know who he was.
I didn't have any thoughts of he's undefeated, I'm undefeated. One of us is gonna lose. That really wasn't in my mind. And I just feel like as a fighter, there's so many things, just like with comedy, there's so many points we gotta hit along the way. I ain't got time to think about what if that joke don't go over. I gotta hit my points and stay on pace. You know what I mean? So for me, the fight actually ended up being a blur, which is kind of funny. It was like the whole way through it was a blur until that final bell. And it was like, I kind of felt like my hand wasn't going to get raised when it didn't. It was like I had the damn experience walking to the back room. It was like before I got to the back room, I knew everything I did wrong. I already was ready to reinvent myself and stuff like that. Getting in the ring with Keith Thurman, it wasn't about the belts with him. It really wasn't about, oh, I got an O, so now you got to have an O. It was just, I want to win. So I think that that's what needs to be at the forefront of these fighters' mind. Should be always, I want to win. You got guys like Terrence. I know this for a fact. Terrence didn't care how he won. He just had to win. He's special because he found moments where he's like, this is how I'm going to win. This is how I'm going to win. And those fights looked a little bit different. His last fight with Canelo, like I know personally from talking to him, there were rounds where he wanted to do more than he did, but they were saying, nah, let this just stay here. This is winning. Just stay with this, And he won that fight systematically and strategically, and it looked really, really good, But then you got other guys that's like I know Keith. Keith broke it down before. I know I got to win this round, this round. I could probably take that round off. I could probably lose that. And he will systematically try to win a fight like that. To me, you putting too much emphasis on how to win and not just going out there and doing what you do,
Yeah.
And it's intelligent, but at the same time, it can backfire when people want more and you're not giving them what they want,
Yeah. One thing I appreciate about Devin Haney is his willingness to get in that ring with seems like anybody. He wants the big fights. And for me, that's legacy. And people hate Devin Haney. I don't understand why. I know his father is a little brash, but same thing with Teo. But why do you hate a guy because he got cheated out of a loss. And he complained about it, I would complain about it too.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And then once Ryan Garcia lost to Rolly, I feel
Yeah.
like people should have shut up because
Yeah.
they see his next fight when he comes in clean, you see what
Right.
happens.
Right.
You see what happens.
Right.
So when going back to Tank, I would really love to see Tank just get in there and fight the top guys. You know, okay, if you don't want to be undisputed because you don't want to pay the belt, the sanctioning fees, and all of that, whatever that stuff is, fine. But you can still fight these people, man. And I know
Mhm.
that he has his mental issues and he has his stuff that's outside of the ring and all of that. But I think if he had more of a humble approach in these press conferences, it's the things that he says that makes me a little bit more upset. And I'm a
Yeah.
fan. As a
Yeah.
fan, I just want to see him being tested.
I felt like we saw him growing. 2021, 2022, we literally saw him growing in
Mm-hmm.
press conferences. The fights were the dynamic of the fights were starting to change where he was becoming very selective of when he was going to do something. But when he did it, he was pinpoint accurate and it worked. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And then I feel like there's been this regression, and probably because of the outside stuff, but I feel like there's been a regression we saw in the press conference that he had with Jake Paul. I was like, man, you're here representing the whole boxing community, and you just don't sound like a fighter should sound. You don't look the
Yeah.
way a fighter should look, you know. So I think more than anything, man, I saw Coach Cal day before yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
No, it was yesterday. It was yesterday. Probably. It was the day before yesterday, and Coach Cal looked great. Coach Cal is at the regional silver gloves, which is like the biggest tournament for the youth, 8
Mm-hmm.
to 15. Biggest tournament we can win. I went to that tournament, the nationals, that tournament 6 times and only won the nationals once. You
Mm-hmm.
know, then you got other guys like Rashid Warren that's been 6 times, won it 6 times. You know, other guys been 8 times, won it 8 times. You know, Coach Cal looked great. Coach Cal looked like he don't got a worry or care in the world. And Coach Cal looked like, you're gonna do what you're gonna do, Tank, but I still gotta keep this ship moving. You're not the
Mm-hmm.
only one on this ship, you know? And my thing when it comes to Coach Cal and when it comes to everybody around Coach Kenny, everybody around Tank, is get him on a ship with y'all. Take him to them national tournaments with y'all. Like
Yeah.
get him a breath of fresh air and get him away from like you sitting right now. Like you get to a point where you're on this throne, and this is our mindset because we have to be this. But at some
Mm-hmm.
point, you got to get off that throne and just become a human again, you know?
Right. Right. I mean, that's his coach though. Is that
Yeah,
somebody that can actually get him out?
yeah,
You know, or does he even want to? Because I mean, like, yeah, I got to focus on these other boxers. I don't want that attention, that toxicity. You know, you don't know what their relationship is really. You probably would know, but as a fan, me, I won't. I don't know what their relationship is outside of that gym and that ring.
Well, what I know is it's coming regardless. You
Mm-hmm.
know, my dad ain't gonna go nowhere in this world without somebody saying, "Where's Shawn? How's Shawn?" All
Exactly.
those times. And same thing for me. I get people. I always say, "But thank you for asking about my dad," because you don't have everybody still asks about my dad all the
Mm-hmm.
time. We're not around each other as much as we used to be, you know. So for Coach Cal, he's gonna hear it regardless. You know, hey, tell Tank we said what's up. Tell Tank we were wishing him well and all that kind of stuff. You know,
Mm-hmm.
same thing with the Charlo brothers. I wanted to ask you about the Charlo brothers. What you think about these guys in 2026? Is there a big comeback for both these guys? Is it just the well done run dry? What you think?
Um, I was really looking forward to seeing Jamal and what's my man name that they was setting it up and then he lost, a white guy,
Oh,
uh
Caleb Plant.
Caleb Plant.
Yeah,
I was looking forward to that.
yeah,
Unfortunately, it doesn't like that's going to happen.
right.
But I think Jamel took too much time off. Probably he got that money from the Canelo fight and seemed to just be like, whatever. He lost all his belts that he had at 154. So I see him now like, oh, I'm coming for everybody. All right.
I saw that. I
Yeah,
saw that. Yeah,
you
yeah.
You coming for everybody. I mean, there's plenty of work at 54. And
It's
I
plenty.
don't.
He's not a 154-pound fighter no more.
You think he's going to come to 160?
Maybe 60, probably 68. Like they're big. They were big young men. Now they're grown now. Like he's a 168-pound fighter now.
He don't want to work there. I think, if anything, I feel like 160 is a very safe division. Lara is kind of, he's getting up there, but he still has the smarts. I would love to see Jamal fight Lara. Yeah, people forget Jamal is still undefeated.
Right.
And I would love to see him fight Lara. I don't know what's gonna happen with Janabek. I know he failed the drug test, and then you got Adamez. So that's a very safe. Yeah, I feel like I was really hoping that Terrence would have went to 160 and unified that last time. You know, he probably could have done it in a couple fights and then retired. So who knows what's going to happen. He says he's retired, but I know he can never be undisputed again because of Suleiman at WBC. So that's over.
Right.
That's over. So right now you would just be fighting just to become a champion at 160 and then get the money, of course. But he ain't gonna be undisputed at 160. Not after what he said.
Why is that so important?
Why
is undisputed so important?
Like
I always say, I'm sorry, cut you, but like I always say, and we got Pierre in the waiting room. I don't know if you mind, him jumping over. I thought so. I'll bring him in just a second. But let me ask you this real quick. The belts don't fight. So if you're fighting the best guys, and if you're looking great every time out, why does it matter that you've been, pushed off by a sanctioning body or two, and you can never be, undisputed anymore? I'm still active. I still look fantastic.
We back to legacy now, because that's what it's all about. It's all about being able to say, he's already the first to do it in 3 weight classes. And then now 4, it's like you add into your rings. It's like nobody's going, Bill Russell got 11 rings.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's like nobody's going to get there.
Nobody's going to the championship and you didn't leave with the ring, like with the trophy. Like you were there, you did it. We saw the slam dunks, but it just all right. Let's bring in Pierre real quick. Hey, Pierre, let's bring in. Welcome to the PorterWay Podcast. It's been a minute actually. What the hell is this? There you go.
I don't see him.
There you go.
See my view.
The light-skinned king of comedy right there. Pierre's Panic Room.
Is that what it is? Whoa.
What's happening, sir?
Man, I can't call. I can call it. Shit, life is good, brother.
What's up, old head?
Old head, nigga. I'm old as you. What the fuck is you talking about?
No, you way older than me.
Nah, nigga.
You look like Play. Oh, you like Kid.
No, you don't know what you're talking about. Okay.
What you eating, man? You don't come on here eating.
Well, man, fuck you. And I got the cup.
Yo, we was recapping a little bit of 2025. Look at what we're looking forward to 2026.
Okay.
We're not gonna go back into the conversation. I got both y'all here right now. Tell me right now. We're gonna start with you, Pierre. Shakur and Teofimo Lopez. Shakur Stevenson getting it on in about 3.5 weeks or something like that. Also on the undercard is Keyshawn Davis, but the main event. Let's jump into the main. Tell me what you're thinking.
You got an ultimate skill fighter versus a boxer who's twitchy, and twitchy sometimes beats out skills. Sometimes that's the side that can really beat a straight up boxer to me. Somebody who's twitchy. Because they don't fight, as normally as most boxers fight. They give you angles, body movements, bouncing around like a Lomachenko would done, even a Crawford does, you know what I'm saying, moves different angles and so forth. That's why they can beat a lot of boxers. A lot of people are rolling with Shakur, and I understand because he's dope. But I don't know who's going to show up what day. What Shakur showing up, or what Tio's going to show up. You get what I'm saying?
Because we going Shakur going to always be Shakur. The offense that we saw from him in his last fight was just, he knew what he had in front of him, and eventually he knew that he was going to be in a position where he could have his way. with the kid who was in the ring. I'm losing his name off the top of my head.
Right, I know you're talking about. But I believe he fought that way because he started hearing all the call of him running. He started saying, you know what? Let me stay in the pocket, because he stood in the pocket a lot more than he normally stood in the pocket with that fight. You know what I'm saying?
And took some unnecessary shots.
Huh?
And took unnecessary shots.
Well, okay, right.
Mm-hmm.
But you see what kind of fan base he got after that too. The doubters started saying, you know what? I'm gonna roll with him more, because we were getting tired of him running and skillfully beating people. That gets boring. Like Mayweather did his last 10 fights damn near. You know, like, come on, man. What?
Nah, Mayweather wasn't running, bro. Mayweather was out there putting on master classes. That's not running.
He was not doing what he was doing when he was pretty boy. He was not bringing it to him. Come on, son.
Them hands was like skeleton hands by then.
Okay. Whatever reason was. I went with the eye test. Man. Come on.
So
when you go ahead.
So when it comes to Shakur and Teo, I feel like if it's not if Teo's not fighting someone that's being aggressive, pressing him a little bit, he taps out. And I feel like Shakur is not going to trade the way he did in the last fight, because he knows he's going up in weight and Teo has power, obviously. So I believe that this is going to be one of those fights where he kind of fights on the outside, frustrates him a little bit. I expect it to be a fairly boring fight. But if Teo lands some good shots, it could become interesting. But I don't see that really happening. So I think Shakur will win in a fairly uneventful fight.
I'll tell you what, I think I like what Pierre said. You know, the twitchiness, that athleticism that Teofimo has is what gives someone like Shakur problems, because it throws off his timing.
Yep.
Shakur is flat out amazing. I've watched this kid. He can find anybody's time.
Right.
So if you give him the space with just like feints and stuff like that, he gonna still pick it up and he's still gonna find it. I got a feeling this thing is not gonna be boring and dry, because I got a feeling you're right. By nature, Teofimo is a counterpuncher. He's an explosive counterpuncher. He does not know how to punch. He can't really set it up first the way that he can when somebody's coming at him. We already know Shakur ain't gonna have a lot of offense for him. But at the same time, I think about it like this: Shakur is an ace of spades, but Teofimo Lopez is a wild card. He's still liable to do anything at any point in time, and I just got a feeling that it's gonna be like a Tasmanian, well, like a hyena and a lion, you know, and it's like, is the hyena gonna be able to pounce on the lion enough to get the job done, or is the lion just gonna be able to make his moves, do what he need to do, and snap at him and get him when he want him to? You know, well, the lion being Shakur.
Let me ask you a question. Since you've been a professional fighter, you hear stuff. You know, in the comments and all that, not about you, but like, you're a runner, you got a glass jaw, you ain't got that heart. Doesn't that get to you as a human being, as a man, when you get in that ring and say, you know what, fuck this, I'm gonna show them I got the dog in me? And I think he did that his last fight, Shakur, against William Zepeda. He said, I'm gonna show the dog. Are you trying to tell me he's not gonna show the dog this time? He's gonna get back to the running, and then it's back to what he's always heard, that he was scared, no one got this glass jaw.
Shakur is extremely smart.
Okay.
I can guarantee you this is what Shakur is going to do. Shakur is going to come out middle of the ring, work that jab, work that pawn that he does, all that, the feints. He's going to try to touch him with the jab, but he's going to be waiting on his moments to snap with that right hand, waiting on his moments to counter, waiting on his moment. And when they're not there, he's just going to slide off, go for that little walk, restart, slide off, restart. Shakur is the kind of fighter that does not mind restarting. That was our thing, was once we start, we want to do the best we can to get away from another restart, because the restart allows you to reset, allows you that space, you know, and stuff like that. When you would see me get broke by the ref, you would see me right back on, because I don't want that restart situation. Right. So that's what Shakur needs. He needs that space to keep restarting. That's that space to keep using his jab, keep probing, and keep finding tail. I think that's what the fight's going to look like for Shakur. The other side of that is, as the fight goes on, the more that Shakur touches Teo, should that happen, the more he'll start to increase his frequency of offense. But for the most part, I see Shakur sitting back and forcing Teo to come in and get him.
Yeah. I don't know, man. I don't see Teofimo has had some boring fights by himself. You know what I mean? It ain't like Shakur the only one that had boring fights. He's had some big knockouts, but he's had some really boring fights too.
I was right here watching some film the other day, just trying to, set up our thing for our breakdown for the fight. And I'm like, man, like it's just hard to stay tuned into this. I'm 4 or 5 rounds in. I'm like, on to the next.
Yeah.
So
I'm gonna say this. I'm thinking Shakur is loving the attention he's getting from his last fight against William Zepeda. That he brought the dog out. He's finally fighting. He read the clippings. He said, "Okay, if you're telling me he's gonna jump right back with you, because you're kind of saying that, he's going back, Shawn, to hitting and moving, and hitting and backing out. Well, then it's like, all right, that nigga, brother ran all night again. Back to the running. Not saying, because yes, he's a skillful fighter, but if you don't engage, they're gonna call you a runner." And he don't like that terminology. Come on now.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I mean,
that's his nature. His nature is defense first, defense second, offense third.
Damn.
The thing that I like about Shakur though is, we already know the statistical numbers in terms of how much he gets hit per round and even per fight, which is
low.
But the other side of that is offensively, he's very accurate. Very accurate. So while we don't like that he might throw 30, 40 punches around, he's usually on point when he throws. He don't miss.
I agree, but we like savagery, man. Come on, brother. You know what I'm saying? Let's be real. We like savagery. Fighters who sit there in the pocket and fight that thing. Look, I understand the mind, and you don't want to mess your mind up when you got a boxing. You want to be okay. But it's hard to have both ways, man. Not to fight and engage really, and then get that, have a good brain when you get out. But you don't get the love of the people. That's why people like a Mike Tyson or whatever. They want that engagement, man. Even your boy, who they going with, who's Deontay Wilder. He losing, but shit, he going there fighting. So people want to see him again. You get what I'm saying? They want to see the fight. So, and if people want to see you fight, you make more money. So you got to play the game. What's it going to be? You going to get your ass, some dog fights or not? There it is.
I think, go ahead.
Now, I was just going to say, in response to what Pierre is saying, I think that there's certain fighters that would like to engage more, but when you throw punches, you make yourself susceptible to receive punches. And if you don't have the power to keep those people off of you, then you set yourself up to lose.
What you saying? You saying if I get the power?
So here's a perfect example. Tim Bradley, right? Tim Bradley used to mix it up a little bit.
Yeah.
He was a really good fighter, but his knockout rate was extremely low, right? So that means people are not afraid to press forward, engage him. He had the size and it appeared to have strength because he was in great shape and all that, but he just didn't have the punching power. So with Shakur, I feel like if he had that knockout power, then he would be a little bit more aggressive, like we want to see. But if you can't put nobody down, what you gonna do?
That's really what separates Tank and Shakur. What separates them, because let's really look at it.
Yep.
Tank plays defense a majority of the first third of the fight.
I'm setting you up.
He finds his moments and then he turns it on. The difference is when he turns it on is he's delivered that power to a point where we actually sit back and all right, round after round, like, all right, he's losing these rounds. He knows he's losing these rounds, but let's just wait on it. And then eventually comes the big kaboom.
Well, that's what we want to see, man. We want to see kabooms.
Okay. Last thing I'm gonna say on this fight, though, I think there's more avenues to victory for Teofimo Lopez than there is for Shakur.
I agree.
Because Shakur is so set in who he is, and I absolutely love it straight up and down. But it's gonna be so hard to pull him out of who he is. And the other side of that is Teofimo can go the defensive route. He can go to force you to at least walk towards me. And Shakur will plot forward, still ready defensively, and then Teo also has the ability to, do that pouncing, for the sake of word, situation where he can come in and come out, big right hands, big leaping left hooks and leaping in punches and stuff like that. I like to think it's 50-50.
Put your balls on the table right now. What's your balls on the damn you'd like to? What's going to happen? We all make a prediction. What's going to happen? Play it all the way. What's going to happen?
And if Teo wins, by what? By knockout or decision?
Now, listen, man, we're talking about a situation. We're talking about a situation where a fighter could be smart enough to just be right on point. What I mean by that is we could be in a situation where both these guys kind of coasting through the rounds, but Teo's finding moments to steal moments in every round and steal rounds and actually win on the scorecards simply because he did just a little bit more, simply because he was just a little bit more active. I don't know.
I don't see it, bro.
I'm going with Shakur by decision. Fuck it. I'm out of nuts over there. Shakur by decision. Fuck it.
I'm not mad at that. Real quick, let me do my promos real quick. We got our subscription. You guys click on the link below, subscribe. We got a lot of great, awesome content going up over there. While these guys take their drinks, they like, this is my moment. And then what's the other promo we got? Oh, fan questions. No fan questions today, but we want you guys to enter that code. I think is bit.ly.com/TPWP, if I'm not mistaken. And you can ask TPWP and you can submit a fan question. Keep it at a minute, introduce yourselves, and y'all ask us just about anything. We're going to answer it. Keep it clean, but outside of that, man, anything y'all got for us, we got something right back to you. That said, let me add a question for both of you guys. I wanted to know, is there any fighters right now that y'all look at and y'all like, man, I'm adding that to my repertoire? Who's like?
What's that mean, repertoire? You mean who I like or something? I
no, like who? Like what? Pierre, I know for the most part you're doing your panic room. I'm not sure how active you are on the stage, but when you go on stage, are there any fighters right now that you like? I got artillery for.
You mean what? You mean what fighters I'm like? What fighters I'm looking at? I'm liking. You saying that kind of thing?
No, that you going after.
Going? What do you mean going after? What's that mean going after? I ain't
on
fighting
stage.
Oh, talking shit. This nah.
No, ain't nobody right now, huh? What about
I can't think of nobody. I don't like that. No.
Nah, this is a one-man sport that we play, bro. I ain't worried about. I'm not in competition with nobody except myself.
Damn. Right.
I wish everybody well.
There was no Jake Paul jokes. There was no Anthony Joshua getting
right.
Oh, you mean
right? That's yeah. That's what
no. Nah. I don't have any jokes about. I'm focused on Diddy right now and the president.
Whoa. Yo, so you saying yo Diddy, not no Diddy? You saying yo Diddy? Okay, all right. You focus on him. God damn, yo Diddy. Come on, Na'im. You from Philly, man.
I'm from New Jersey. That's number one. Number two.
My bad.
Yeah,
Your mama taught at school and shit. Okay, my bad.
I don't have any jokes about no fighters. Nah.
Yeah. And then when it comes to something like a situation with Diddy, is that like, is the text messages going off the chain? Like y'all like, yo, let's get them.
You know what? I'll say this much. He did some heinous stuff. Let's be real. He did some heinous stuff. Yeah. And I'm not going to make the excuse that, well, a lot of people in Hollywood do the same thing, because it is. He ain't the only one, but still, we're talking about him and what he did. I think I'm not going to keep kicking a man that's down. I mean, he's done lost a lot. It ain't like he went unpunishable. Let's be real.
I see what she did there. Because he kicked Cassie while she was down. I see what she did.
Wow, son. Come on, son. I ain't do that, son. Come on. He been dragged all around, yanked on. Come on, don't do me like that. but so I'm not going to kick him any further. I think he's been down pretty much, to me, pretty much. He's done lost. He ain't gonna be the same when he comes out. There ain't gonna be no more Diddy parties and all that other kind of stuff people gonna gravitate towards. He's lost a lot. I'll move on. I'm gonna move on to someone else. You know what I'm saying? Unless he does something heinous again, but I don't think he will. I think he's lost a lot. Just like R. Kelly. I think R. Kelly lost a lot. He need to come out. You know what I'm saying? He did lose a lot, but some people want more. They want more blood, more and more. To me, I'm good.
I was told, and I want to hear from y'all. I was told when it came to Fox and the situation that he was dealing with, he was in the hospital and all that kind of stuff. Everything was locked down, quiet, and it was told to me that he kept everything as quiet as he did, and he was fortunate that he was able to because he knew that y'all would go after him. Was that the case?
Jamie Foxx? You mean Jamie Foxx?
Yeah.
I don't think no comics would have went after Jamie Foxx, to be
honest.
Maybe Na'im. Na'im bold like that.
Nah, I'm a fan of Jamie Foxx, and usually comedians don't. I feel like we don't go for other comedians.
Right.
You know, for me, you got to be relevant. You got to talk about current events, and you got to talk about them while you can talk about them. There's certain people that are hold on to. Some people still doing 9/11 jokes, man. Like you know, you gotta tell this shit for the little bit of time that you have, and then you move on to something else.
And Jamie Foxx didn't do nothing egregious, you know. Bill Cosby was different, Bill Cosby, you know what I'm saying? It was Bill Cosby.
He did come for Bill, yeah.
You know, when you said y'all go after other comedians, I was like, I'm sure y'all do.
No. You know, there's certain comics that don't give a damn to go after all the comics and stuff. You know what we're talking about. But as far as like somebody being in the hospital, like what am I gonna do about that with Jamie? You know what I'm saying? Now, if Jamie catch a case about something maybe crazy, I might say, whoa, he caught with a man somewhere or a young girl somewhere. You know what I'm saying? We might say, hey, hold up, wait a minute. But nah, being in the hospital, shit, what kind of you ain't coming too good off by telling jokes about another brother in the hospital. You know what I'm saying?
But you know why he feared that, Pierre? Because he's one of those people that don't give a fuck. I was at Tent's party last night, and it was a bunch of singers and celebrities there.
I was gonna say real quick, Tank the singer, not Tank the boxer.
Tank the singer,
just you know,
right. And Omarion performed. D Nice is DJing, so he put on one of Omarion's songs. He performed. Then they put on one of Jamie's songs. Jamie said, "Hold up, you can't do one of my songs now. You can't put me on after Omarion."
Oh, right.
I was like. He's right here.
Yeah.
Damn. He said in the microphone where everybody heard?
Yes.
Oh.
I couldn't believe it. He's like, I'm headlining. You'll put me after no Marion.
Wow.
Holy shit.
Well, you know what? Let something happen to Jamie that's not hospital-wise. You know what I'm saying? Get caught with somebody or something or some situation. The jokes are gonna come flying from the comics on his ass. You know what I'm saying?
Is His Excellency Turki Alalshikh good for boxing, bad for boxing?
That's a good question.
All the way good.
I'm gonna say that's a good question because it's good because he's raising the money for people to fight that we want to see each other fight, but he's also how does it sound? He's also throwing money around.
Close door.
So he's throwing money around so crazily that he might wind up ruining it at the same time. You know what I'm saying? Because some people want X amount of money to fight, and since he puts it up there, he might not be able, I don't know if it's good or not. It's good. It's good. He's put some fights together I've been wanting to see. I'm happy about that. But
one of the big things is, being teamed up with Dana White, UFC, knowing, the economical status of, how much UFC fighters are paid. A lot of people are worried that we saw a lot of big checks, and then eventually those checks are going to really dwindle and become very small. So that's one of the big concerns that I know a lot of people have for Zuffa that's starting and His Excellency starting this. But I think it's good for boxing. He's from what I heard, he has Peacock, CBS platform. DAZN, of course.
Right.
So the Middle East. What's that?
That's clapback Saturdays.
the Middle East, they throw money around like that.
No, Shawn know what I'm saying.
They throw money around like that in the Middle East, period. You go to UAE, a lot of times entertainers, celebrities go over there to hang out just to get paid, which I think is like, you kind of playing yourself. But at least they're competing for this money. So I'm all for it. I think that if that's what it takes to make some of these guys get in the ring with each other, I'm for it. Now, people can say they want a certain amount, but if you're not in demand and people don't want to see you fight, you're not getting those checks that he's paying. So all those big money fights that we're seeing from him are people that we've been wanting to see. So I'm all for it.
There it is.
Can I ask one question?
Yeah.
Kind of, what it's about boxing. Who is scared? Is Victor scared, or is what's my man from Philly, the welterweight? You
talking about Vertil Ortiz and
Vertil? Like who? Yeah, I mean Vertil. My bad, Victor. Come on, man. What? Come on, man. What? When they see each other, I'm ready. As soon as they get away, I ain't fighting you now. What's happening with that one now? Come on, man.
I love Virgil, yo. I think Virgil was tough as hell.
And okay. You're right. I do too. But why ain't you want to fight that boy?
Yeah, I don't know that.
I think Virgil is playing his role as a boxer. The role as the boxer. You don't make the business decision. You don't do. You say who you want to fight, but we're gonna put you in with what we think is best for you at this point in time. Keep building your reputation. Keep building your status. Blah 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 blah. That's what I think is happening. I think right now Virgil is doing what he's supposed to do, sitting behind his promoters and allowing his promoters to work. That's the problem. I think the promoters are trying to find that perfect avenue to make this make sense for all of us. And let's keep it 100. Virgil and his team know that that's a fight that we could possibly lose. Historically,
there you go.
Mexican fighters against very athletic and strong black fighters is not a good combination. So we know what that looks like. Right. And then I think on the other side, I think Eddie Hearn is ready to make that fight happen. I think that Eddie's just like, I'm going to make sure I don't get destroyed in the stick. So I feel like that's what the situation is. I understand Virgil in this respect. And that's my thing when it comes to talking about the business of boxing. We always want to look at the fighters and we always want to point at the fighters. Never point at the fighters. Most fighters are not afraid to get in the ring with anybody. My dad told me a boxer needs a manager because the manager knows how to work the business. A fighter is going to think like a fighter. We're going to always want to fight the biggest fight whenever we can fight it. And we might not be ready for those guys at that point in time, which is why you need a manager.
Okay, well then, good. Well then, you stated it. You said we might not be ready. I don't think Virgil's ready for that boy. I'm gonna say that. I'm gonna be the one to say it. I don't think he's ready right now.
I look at it the other way. I look at it the other way.
What?
I think.
What?
Let me say. Let me talk.
What?
There's the other side of it.
Virgil has a resume. Boots does not. And Virgil, the way he beat up on Madrimov, that's when I was like, all right, I believe it now. I believe it now. And then the last fight, he got him out of there real fast. Virgil was a dog, bro. I think he'll outwork Boots. Boots is a great fighter. Don't get me wrong. But who is he for? We haven't seen him really be tested yet.
But what you just said something. You said his last fight, you just said, okay, now he ready. So before that, so it took that one fight. So before that, he was like,
No, 2 fights ago. I was just like, all right, he's an active Mexican fighter. He's a tough dude. He has power. That's how I looked at him. But when I saw the way he beat up on, like, he really broke Madrimov's will. And that's when I was like, okay, I fully believe in him now. So I'm waiting for Boots to have one of those fights where I can fully believe in him. Yeah, I think that Virgil can beat any of the champs at 154. I think he beats Fundora. Who else got a belt at 54? It's a vacant belt, ain't it?
No, I believe so.
No, because when they moved there, they gave a couple belts away at that point. But hold on, let me say, I'm a Virgil Ortiz fan now. I am, but I just don't think he can beat Boots. Now I'm a fan of his. I like how he works. But
I understand that. It's just my opinion.
And you're right now. That's the other side of it. The other side of this coin is we haven't seen Boots in the ring with anybody that's challenged him. I personally been in the ring with the kid, watched the kid for a very long time. I don't think that there's anybody that can challenge him until you go all the way up there. The problem, I think, is that we haven't gotten him. He hasn't gotten the right experiences yet. I felt like when he made that move and he was brought into camp with Canelo Alvarez, I said, great. You have an opportunity to see a true championship camp move and run. Now you should be able to go to another level. That's to me is where he's going to be able to be ready for a Virgil Ortiz. For him, it's not going to be what he does on Fight Night because there's not going to be anybody until you fight a Virgil Ortiz or until you fight the kid that does have a belt, the Puerto Rican kid, Xander Zayas.
He's not ready. He's not ready. He's good.
Xander's still young. Good. Still young. I'm not sure if he's ready for either of those guys yet. But until you get to that level, that separation for Boots is just too wide. There's nobody on Fight Night that we're gonna look at and say, oh man, he took Boots some rounds and he, da. Even in fights that he has gone the distance. He had his way with these guys, got bored, got hit and stuff like that. It kind of is what it is.
But here's the thing I think is unfair. I feel like you're saying he has to fight somebody to prove that he's all that. Well, I knew, to me, I knew Crawford was all that long time ago before he fought Canelo. I was like, he's the one. He's him. Back then, I thought he
But
was
look
him.
who he fought. He fought a lot of good guys, though.
But people are like, oh, he ain't fight that. He ain't nobody. He ain't nobody. When he's got to fight Canelo, they're like, he ain't really fight nobody. You're like, what? That boy got skills. So I think the same thing with Boots. I think Boots got the skills. It can't be his fault that he's fighting people who he's overwhelming and stuff. So I don't think there's like, I gotta wait to see him fight one more person that really gonna do it to prove to me. I think he got the dog in him and he's gonna be that. I just think today he's the dog already.
I mean, as a boxing fan, I would say from Gamboa on, I was familiar with 90% of those fighters that Crawford was fighting. They were pretty big fights, in my opinion. Now, the guys that Boots fought Stanionis, and now he had a belt, but I had never seen him fight before that fight. So if you want to give him credit, I'll give him credit for that fight because the dude did have a belt. But it's so many names.
He fought Lipinets. He fought some solid people now. He fought some people who they might be top 4 in that league or 5 in their weight class. He wasn't fighting only number 10s and 12s and stuff. Come on, he was fighting some dudes that was tough.
How many Boots got? He got like 30-something fights, right?
Right, probably so.
Yeah.
35.
It's time for a step up in competition. He's past
right,
that.
and he asked for it. He asked for it for Vertil Ortiz. He asked Vertil Ortiz. Let's step up. So you're right. He wants that. Give me him. If you want to avoid me, what do you want me to do about that? What you want me to do about it if you ain't gonna fight me?
No, we all want to see that fight. I would pick Vertil right now.
I hear you.
Is there a fight either you guys want to see this year? Is it the Vertil Ortiz and Boots in this fight? What is there a fight out there that I got to see this year?
I would love to see Keyshawn and Devin.
Ooh.
There's been a little bit of chit chat about that. I would love to see Keyshawn and Devin.
They in the same weight class?
Nah, but Keyshawn moving up to 140 and him going to 147, I'm sure will be easy.
Right.
The problem with that is now I would favor Devin in that fight for a lot of reasons. I think the experience is number one. That mature separation is definitely number two. And again, you're right. Hey, you're right. Keyshawn wouldn't have a problem getting to 47, but what's his body like at 147 pounds?
Right.
Underdeveloped, opposed to a Devin who's been coming down from 150 or 160 to get to 135, and now coming down to 47, completely filled out, completely strong, and a real man at 147 pounds. I favor Devin in that fight.
I don't see nobody beating Keyshawn, bro.
I get it.
He's tough, man. He's probably my favorite boxer. Now that Bud is gone, I think he's my favorite boxer.
Man,
and
he's not improving.
Huh?
He's not improving.
Keyshawn is the truth, but I'm gonna tell you, man, the person I want to watch, I'll damn near bring a TV into a comedy club and watch the pay-per-view is that young cat, Abdullah Mason.
Yeah.
He's fun to watch. He's enjoyable to watch.
He's number 2 for me. But against who though? Who you want to see him fight?
Well, I don't know who's in. What's it? 135?
Yeah.
I gotta see what's in 130. I don't know everybody's in 135, but I'll take him. Anybody 135.
Tank's still at 135.
Man, but Tank fighting today, tomorrow, next week. What we doing here, man? I mean, I don't even, I don't even see. You know what I'm saying? With Tank,
I got you.
The fight that's been talked about a lot that I think might be a little premature is a fight with Schofield.
That's nice. That's nice.
Schofield and Abdullah Mason.
Yeah. You know what? I'm still rocking with Abdullah. Abdullah showed me some dog. Okay, he showed me some dog skills, and the way he fought that boy Sam Noakes and brought it to he didn't run from Sam. He brought it. They was there banging in the middle. So
what about
like that? I give him credits.
What about Mason versus what's my boy that Spence managed that just won?
Frank Martin.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but I think, and I like Frank. I went to the gym with him. Frank is solid, but I think he's too compact. He's not long enough to me.
No, I think Mason will win, but I would love to see that fight.
Yeah. He gonna come bring it now. He's gonna bring it.
Good boxing match. That's a good boxing match. Because you're right. I think Frank's at a point now where, at least I hope he's at a point now where psychologically he knows it's go time, it's now or never.
Right.
You have to fight every fight like that. And that being said, I think there's going to be some points where he's going to have to push Abdullah and put Abdullah in some positions where, Abdullah virtually, even though he's shown he's ready for everything, he hasn't been yet,
Right.
I think Noakes took him to a lot of places. I think he took himself to a lot of places with Noakes that he didn't have to go. But I like it because, again, like you just talking, Pierre, it makes for fan friendly. It makes, people like, oh, he get his defenses loose, he's getting hit too much and stuff like that. I get it.
Right.
But he's doing what everybody tuned in to see, which is being a weapon.
There you go. He's fan friendly, man, and and these fighters, I get it with the injuries. Trust me, I don't want anybody to get out of here and be screwed, their minds off. But if you want to make this paper, man, I just feel like everyone can't take the route of Floyd Mayweather. You know what I'm saying? Everybody's scared of that O, dropping that O. I'm glad that people are willing to lose that O. It's not about the O no more, man. We gotta stop pushing that as being the the caveat, I'm undefeated. I retired undefeated. Okay, but how many top 10 champions of all time ended undefeated? 2, maybe? 1 or 2? So let's be real. We got to start focusing on fights and not undefeatedness. You know what I'm saying? So these boys will fight each other. You know what I'm saying? And be okay if you lose. It's okay. As long as you put a good showing of yourself, it's okay.
So you think it's better to lose a fight earlier than later to get that out of the way?
I like that. Yeah, I would say that. Nah,
I'll get it out of the way.
I would say that because you know what? Earlier it's over, man. If you lose, I've seen people talk that trash and then they lose that one fight, and people say, "Man, you through." Like, hold on, dude. This dude was good, man. You lost, man. You out of here. Like, hold on, bro. You know what I'm saying? You just lost one fight. You're 27-1 now.
It's boxing's fault.
Okay.
Why fighters are afraid not to lose their O, but to lose.
Mm-hmm.
You talk about a fighter making, just hypothetically, $500,000 and then lose that next fight. And now all of a sudden you cut that paycheck in half and you can justify it because he lost that fight and this is your why does I lost and looking great and just somebody was better than me that night. It's boxing's fault. It's not everybody blames Floyd. It ain't Floyd. It's everybody calls it the Floyd Mayweather effect. No, it's the business of boxing effect.
But what about the people like Pitbull, who was unknown, had a good fight, lost to Tank, and then his money probably went up after the loss?
Well, one thing also is how you look in that fight too. You know what I mean? You got to look good.
You don't agree with that, Shawn?
Listen. You're right. No, you're right.
It can happen sometimes if you're unknown.
You're right. I think, I mean, that, but again, the fight that he had with Tank, if he doesn't have that fight with Tank, he might not be where he is now. It was how he performed against Tank, and also Tank was injured, but Tank had the name recognition, So he did what I wish other fighters would do when they get in the ring with Tank. Use that thing was a springboard. Stay up there and keep moving, but these guys get inactive and all that kind of stuff. So it's the business.
Right. Yeah.
It's the business. I think that, to me, that's the good part about Zuffa and His Excellency, I think. And I'm on the outside looking in, but to me, he's going to put fighters in the position to be seen and to make money and to be seen and make money. I don't think he's in this business to have a big stable of fighters and you fight when I tell you to fight. I think he's in the business that have a big stable of fighters, and I'm putting on great fun events for everybody to see whenever you know that I have a Zuffa fighter in the ring.
You said something earlier, Shawn, that and I'm gonna ask you because you're actually a fighter. I've gone to all the gyms. I've gone to I've sparred in all the gyms around the country, whatever. So I met real fighters, actually fighters I know. Like, okay, and some of them are just dying to get a fight. They've been held off for like a year. They're like, I want to fight, man. And it's like, damn, because they promoted whatever, hasn't done that yet. This is an age sport. You get too old, it's a wrap. You know what I'm saying? So this ain't golf. You know what I'm saying? So how do you maintain your energy and excitement if they holding you off for so long?
Yeah, for me, being able to be on the inside of the business, what I realized that everything was about positioning. When you had a fighter who was, for the sake of words, held back or not being as active as you or as that fighter would want to be. A lot of times it was just, I need to position you, get you on the right card at the right time with the right money and all that kind of stuff. And it's gotten to a point where, those TV dates are very far few in between. And, you got a David Benavidez now fought twice on his excellency cards. I can't bring you back in December and January and put you on a prime card. You just had that fight. You need that time off and blah, 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 blah. So when you got a big name like David basically waiting to get back in the ring, you basically got a big card. That card now is waiting to get back in the ring. Not just that fighter, but the whole card is. So then you got young guys that's ready to fight. Well, we can't do it until the big man's ready,
Wow.
Yeah. So, and again, when it's Zuffa, I think that Zuffa is going to put boxing in a position where it's just going to be big, exciting fights. And, that I think it's going to open up. So
it seems like Top Rank is good for a lot of fighters early in their career because they get in the fights, they going back to back with them fights.
Yeah.
And then after a while, Bob Arum is not going to promote you or whatever the accusations are. You're not getting the money you deserve, but he seems to be good with guys first starting out.
He does his thing, traditionally, this is what you signed for. This is what you earn. This is what you earn. We saw Teo go through that, where Teo was like, no, listen, I just fought for that. My increase. And it's like, no, remember that contract you signed 5 years ago? We're still going to follow that print, So that's it's a funny game.
Yeah. Well, some people price themselves out and they think they're bigger than they are, so they're not fighting as much. But the ones who want to fight and they keep being shelved and moved to this fight and this, then they're like, I want to fight. Who are in, let's say that from 7 on up, 7 to 3, you know what I'm saying? That little bracket right there. They need to be seen more. And again, it's an age sport, man. If you ain't, before you know it, you done fought 3 times from the age of 25 to 30. You know what I'm saying? Ridiculous, man.
Yeah.
Ain't nothing.
Listen, guys, we got to get up out of here, man. I appreciate y'all time. We definitely got to do this again. Pierre has been far too long.
Yes,
starting with Pierre, man. I know you got the Panic Room. It's been booming. What can everybody look forward to coming in 2026 for you?
More stuff on my social media. I've shot a lot of videos. I've shot a lot of little, skits and so forth. But the Panic Room is going to be dope and hot. Like I said, I appreciate everybody who supports the Panic Room, always watches it. Y'all see what it is. Boom, boom, boom. And just touring. I'm running around the country, at all the comedy clubs. Just getting back into people's face again. You know what I'm saying? Get back in people's face again, loving it. Loving boxing, man. I appreciate what you do. I remember when it started. Remember we went out of the country, man, and sat. Remember that day I sat down, I talked to you for like an hour and a half, just sat down and late at night, just with a camera, and just said, that was my first entry into like podcasting, to interview somebody, and it was great.
And then I look at the Panic Room and I'm like, damn, like he just found his lane. It was like 100. Right. Pierre, I'm gonna keep going. I look back, but I'm gonna keep going.
Come on, man. Come on. So there it is, man. So appreciate everybody supporting the Panic Room, and follow me at Comic Pierre on all social media. Comic Pierre on all social media.
Pierre, do you only do interview people in person, or do you do it through Zoom too?
Well, I do it in person, but I'm gonna have a one I do out of my house, but it's not necessarily the Panic Room. Is more just about a subject matter, and then we'll rock it from there. Yeah, because I didn't want people to start coming and just wanting to do this, you know what I'm saying? I want to be in studio. It's a different feel when you're in studio, when you're eye to eye with somebody. It's a little harder, definitely harder, you know what I'm saying? But right now I'm still doing in studio, but I am going to bring people on my home podcast. When you see the back, we see all them J's back there, you see them Jordans back there, look, Foot Locker. There it is right there. When you see that, that's just me riffing with my folks who want to come on and talk a little trash about whatever's happening. So that's that.
Yeah, I ain't had Pierre on the show in 3 or 4 years because I'm always asking him, when you come to Vegas.
Right.
So
I definitely want to do it.
I said, forget it, man. I'm gonna just have you on today. So.
Man, but there it is. But I look prettier in person. You know what I'm saying? When the lights hit me right. You know what I'm saying?
You need the light. Go ahead, now.
What I got this weekend? Not this weekend. Next weekend. The weekend of 15th to the 17th. I'll be at the Baltimore Comedy Factory. And then also the end of the month, the last weekend of January, I'm at the Arlington Improv in Dallas.
Nice.
Other than that, my TV show Assisted Living should be starting to re-air again sometime this month.
Nice.
And I'm just grinding, bro. Social media, Na'im the Star, NAIMTHESTAR. And that's it.
In closing for me,
Damn.
I usually do a motivational message. I wasn't gonna do it, but I'm gonna go ahead and do it. Last year was the year of the snake, if I'm not mistaken. I really hope I don't mess this up. Basically, the year of shedding, the year of letting go of things and renewing, and then this year I can't remember what it is, so I'm sorry. But the motivational message is simply this: what you're living in now, what you're moving in now, start from there and keep it moving. Don't look back at last year. Don't look back at the year before. Don't look back at last week, last month. Look at everything that's positive ahead of you and just keep running towards that. Don't look back. This is the PorterWay.